Arguably one of the biggest comedy sitcoms have graced our television screens and streaming devices, Brooklyn Nine-Nine has come a long way since its debut in 2013. Being the recipient for many awards like the Golden Globe Award for Best Television Series and the Shorty Award for Best TV Show, the show continues to grow with each season. But what exactly separates the show as a whole from other popular TV comedies, when compared to the likes of Modern Family or The Office, for example? It's a question everyone thinks of when watching the show, right? Definitely not. I mean, who has the time to waste analyzing TV shows? Well, I guess I do. Even if you clicked on this video on pure chance, I hope to enlighten you as much as I can to explain just what Brooklyn Nine-Nine does that gives the show a certain charm hard to find elsewhere. Without further ado, the first thing that really separates Brooklyn Nine-Nine for me has got to be the character dynamic. In its diverse cast of characters, character interactions don't feel forced, and each of the main characters has something that makes them unique and stand out from the rest. From an aloof bisexual badass to a police captain who's always calm and collected, each character introduces a fresh element to the show. For example, character interactions like the ones between Boyle and Jake don't feel forced, in the sense that both characters depend on each other and have a strong bond of friendship. Now, this is no better shown than the scene where the duo shares a scene crying in their binoculars while reminiscing about the good times they had in the squad, thinking that they were going to be disbanded soon. Now, although at first glance it may seem like Boyle is too eagerly over-attached to Jake, who finds his antics annoying, our assumptions end up being flipped over the head when we find out that Jake does in fact value his friendship with Boyle, helping him with relationship advice in the case with Genevieve, and even his former girlfriend Vivian, among other examples. Now, even less prominent characters like Scully, who at first glance seems like the Toby of Brooklyn Nine-Nine as the butt of every joke, has his moments sprinkled throughout, such as the time when he and Hitchcock took down the mafia boss in a flashback. In fact, I really like the fact that the producers of the show added Scully and Hitchcock to the title card and decided to put more emphasis on the characters in the later seasons after Gino left. It just adds like an element of spice. Now, although I could make a whole other video just on characters in the show alone, I think I'm going to move on to its unique plot premise. Normally, it's unusual for sitcom comedies to have dramatic plot progressions that leave you on the edge of your seats. Now, sure, there may be a love triangle here and there, or a couple of episodes where the cast goes on a trip somewhere, but Brooklyn Nine-Nine has the added benefit of having the story taking place in a police precinct. Now, this allows the directors to have creative freedom of introducing an aspect of action and suspense typically not seen in your other sitcoms. For me, one of the greatest highlights of the show would have to be the episodes where the cast has to track down Pimento's hitman in the later half of season 3, hired by Jimmy the Butcher. Now, this mini arc was filled with action and suspense, as shown in Bob Anderson's betrayal and the crew's strategic mind games to retrieve the files on Jimmy the Butcher Figs to bring him down. Oh, and by the way, I should also mention that ending season 3 in this matter allowed for a great follow-up arc, where Jake and Holt in Florida had to deal with managing to bring down Figs while trying to keep their cover low and hidden. Now, season 4 probably is one of the most action-packed seasons of Brooklyn Nine-Nine yet, while still managing to keep things light and comedic, so you don't feel like the show branches off to become something entirely different. Lastly, one of the most impactful aspects of the show has got to be the messages it holds. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is not afraid to tackle issues head-on, like systemic racism, tolerance for LGBTQ+, as well as female empowerment. Without a doubt, episode 16 of season 4 encompasses just how deep Terry's character is, and how no black father should have to be worried of being stopped by a police officer, simply just walking outside their neighborhood. It shows us that not only racism is a real issue to this day, but how almost anyone can experience it, despite their ranking as a sergeant in a police force. Now, we also end up seeing a well-crafted scene with Holt and Terry, discussing how despite the fact that an issue complaint against Officer Moldak, the person discriminating against Terry, isn't going to eliminate racial profiling by any means, it is, however, a step in the right direction. In a similar episode, He Said, She Said, of Season 6, Episode 8, we see how Stephanie Beatrice, the director of the episode, and who is also the voice actress for Rosa, represents how sexual assault is often swept under the rug, due to victims being too afraid to take action against a larger power. The message of 2 steps forward, 1 step back is still 1 step forward, being the main takeaway of the episode. It gives hope to future change, encouraging women to be inspired by others to take a stance. Okay, so I think I've summarized all my points already, so I'm just going to end the video here. But if you do want to see more content like this, feel free to like the video and subscribe for future content similar to this one.